Hey everyone, welcome to Toys Worth Talking About, where we talk and talk and talk about toys. I'm John Carlos, and talking about Clerks 3 Pops today with Jeff Victor.
Howdy. How's it going, guys?
Jeff, I'm talking to you because what did you do for these pops?
I was a concept artist on Clerks 3 Pops, and it was a huge honor for me. As a lifelong Kevin Smith fan, I discovered Clerks when I was in, I believe, a senior year in high school, and it spoke to me like nothing ever has. I felt like many people of my generation felt like this is the voice of our generation, and he was talking about the things that we talk about, only much funnier. And it was just one of those things where it's like I just wanted to hear him talk, and I loved his voice, and I've been following him all these years. I've seen everything he's done. I've watched all his stand up specials. I've seen him at San Diego Comic Con year after year. Met him a couple of times at events.
Oh,
It's one of those things where I saw Clerks on my to do list at Funko, and I was just overjoyed because I knew like this is my contribution to the View Askewniverse. And I mean, I don't know if I assume he's seen them. I hope he likes them. But it was a real treat to get to work on.
dude, it was a real treat to find out that you had a hand in this.
Yes.
Um, I will tell you this up front because, like you, I discovered Clerks in high school. And for as long as Funko has been making, I think they did Strike Back Pops like a long time ago. And
Hmm.
I freaked out because I'm like, oh my God, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. This is awesome. And then like many years went by, and then they did Reboot Pops, the Jay and Silent Bob from Reboot. Then they did Bluntman and Chronic. And I'm like, I'm liking all this. Jay and Silent Bob, Jay and Silent Bob, Jay and Silent Bob. They did uh I'm just, all of a sudden just forgetting his name, but like, oh, Iron Bob. And
Yes.
grateful for all of them as a nerd. But I'm like, when are we gonna get like a Dante and a Randal?
Yeah.
So the fact that like we finally, at least for me, as like a big Clerks fan, to actually have like a Dante and a Randal pop over the moon that we got.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah. And the thing that I love about the there's something about pops where you look at like the kind of round edged square and like two dots, and you put thick eyebrows or thin eyebrows and you tilt them a little bit, and all of a sudden like you get that is clearly so and so, or that is clearly
Mhm.
that person, and all it is just dots with maybe some eyebrows, or like, the arm placement, the little hands across Dante's. Like, this is such a Dante pose.
Yeah, in fact, head is actually at a slight tilt,
Tilt.
which is a subtle thing that he does. And I tried to kind of get that into the toy,
I'm
which you can see a lot of Funko Pops don't have that. That's kind
they
of unique to him.
I am so overjoyed that you said that, because um every once in a while there'll be like a pop that's got like an accidental tilt to it, but like for the most part, you're right. Like, they're always level, and I'm like, oh, this one's tilted. No, no, I'm just crazy. But I looked at like several in the store, and I'm like, they're all tilted. And then I looked at the artwork on the box. Actually, I think I have it here. The
Yep.
artwork on the box is tilted too.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's awesome because it's really part of his expression and attitude, and you don't really see it often. Bravo. But anyway,
Oh,
I'm glad I'm not going crazy by
no,
thinking.
no, crazy. Um, but yeah, I definitely, especially with characters that aren't superheroes or aren't in, very dramatic, exciting battle stances. It's hard to kind of do normal folks as pops, because when they're just, especially when they're just standing there, and you try to like figure out like how do I convey their personality in just the most simple way, and that was one of those things. So
Yeah, no, totally. And that's even with his appendages, his extremities brought inward, because like the Goodfellas pops right now are just three dudes in suits, but they did a
yep.
really good job of like, there's an arm going this way, there's a thing going that way, and they're using the extremities, for like Joe Pesci and stuff. But the extremities are brought inward, but yeah, it's perfect.
Well, I'm glad you like it. I really am.
Now, a question I have too is, we have here, I got really, really, really excited that the Silent Bob that Funko decided to go with has the briefcase from the opening scene.
Yes.
Um, but then there's also this other version with
This is
him
my
holding.
first choice, my favorite.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
so Silent Bob with the camera is your personal favorite.
Yes. Well, there's a reason for that, and that's because it's kind of meta in a way, because it could be Silent Bob, but it also could be Kevin Smith. I mean, he is a filmmaker. Silent Bob is a filmmaker in the movie, and it kind of works both ways. So to me, it's the more kind of universal Kevin Smith pop as opposed to the briefcase, which is very scene specific. I mean, it's still good. It's still a good pop, but for my enjoyment, I like the camera one. I think that it just came out great.
Well, I agree with you in that, like, it summarizes the movie like in a nutshell in like one pop, which I think is great. Uh, and the little camera in his hand, like for what it's worth, like the detail of like the eyepiece and everything, it's awesome.
Yeah, the sculptor did a great job.
Like it would almost make sense to me if your wave didn't even include the briefcase one, because you're like, duh, Silent Bob, they're making a movie in the convenience store. I'll just say personally though, as a massive Blues Brothers fan, in the movie, when I saw Silent Bob coming out with the briefcase a la Blues Brothers, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So the fact they made a pop out of it for such a scene specific thing, but it's something that was scene specific for me that tickled my funny bone.
Great.
I thought it was great.
Oh, it's
So,
wonderful.
yeah. So I don't know if I get to thank you directly for making two of them, but thank you.
Not my choice. I mean, I would be to do it, but that was a order given to me on my assignment list. So,
Oh, that's cool.
um, but yeah, I'm glad you like them.
Yeah. No, the interesting thing about this that I think I kind of went into in my reviews a little bit is that, like, I don't know, sometimes you do like pops from a movie, especially it's easy when like characters are wearing the same thing the whole time. But Clerks takes place over so many like months and weeks and stuff that like their outfits are constantly changing. Um, I like that, like, on the whole, that like for example, you've got Randal and he's in the hockey outfit, but Dante isn't in the hockey outfit. Part of my brain goes, well, they could both be in hockey outfits, but I'm also thinking, like, no, but when you take like Jay from this scene and Silent Bob from this scene and Randal from this sequence, what you're doing is you're giving almost like a tableau of the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
Does that come from you, or is that like someone else that says this is kind of what we want the thing to
Yeah,
be?
someone else decides. You know, I think there's two trains of thought. Like you could have, a whole scene, everyone in that one particular scene be represented. I mean, you could certainly have them all in their quick stop outfits. Um, that's totally fine, but I think they wanted to kind of go a different way and have different representation for different scenes. And that's totally cool. And
Oh,
maybe someday we'll do an exclusive with a quick stop uh, Randal. I don't know. I mean,
oh,
I don't know information. I'm not giving anything away. I'm just saying, like, you never know. Or you could just like do a head swap, pull off
oh yeah. I mean,
Dante off.
I'm not even being greedy and asking for that. I'm just curious. Like, I like the idea of like the tableau of the whole movie where you get two very contrasting Dante and Randalls. Um, I do want to say that when you were making pops from anything Clerks related, the obvious thing seems to be Dante Randal, Jay and Silent Bob. The fact that Elias was even included, that he's one of the options, because if once you watch Clerks 2, like, he is ingrained when you think the name Clerks, like quite literally he is a clerk. But I'm just so happy you guys included him.
I love that pop. I think I was able to kind of like draw his like quirky dorkiness. Yeah, kind of a shy attitude, and just his hairline was kind of tough to get right. But I think they did such a good job.
This is going to sound extremely neurotic, and some people might even think I'm being stupid, but like, there's something about when a figure's arm is straight down and tucked close to their body, his hangs out a little bit, and that actually does seem kind of expressive of his not quite 3PO arms, but the fact that it's not just a straight arm, that you could see the slight
Yeah,
gap.
it's not casual. It's tilted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little thing of vinyl, and it's still, that arm is expressive.
But the thing with pops is like it's sometimes even just the slightest thing will like the subtlest thing will help sell that character a little bit more. like the eyebrows being thick and thin, like you mentioned before. If it's too thick, it doesn't look like that character. If it's too thin, it doesn't look like that character. And we could be talking millimeters, of color.
Yeah,
And
and
there's so many things that can go wrong, that could screw a figure up. But so you have to really pay attention to all that stuff.
yeah, because like these eyebrows, they're going up in the middle, so it creates a sort of worried energy, like a
Exactly.
nervous energy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little nervous, a little inquisitive. Yeah.
yeah, no, good job, so fun. Also, just having quick stop shirts in pop form.
Amazing.
Uh,
I would love to do more Kevin Smith. I mean, I hope, we go back and revisit some of the old ones, like Chasing Amy would be great. And I mean, Jay and Silent Bob with like an orangutan would be great. And or like, I don't know, something like that could be really fun.
you know what feels like the most obvious thing to me,
Hmm.
and you can pass this along to whoever you want.
Whether or not
Da-
they'll listen.
sure, Dante and Randal, Clerks One, black and white paint scheme.
Yeah. I would to do that with a cardboard quick stop entrance and video store entrance would be really cool. Or even just Jay and Bob loitering outside would be
Yeah,
really cool.
the RST wall with Jay and
Yeah,
Silent Bob, like that.
I mean, ah,
We're just
yeah.
talking pie in the sky right now, and like,
Right now, I mean, there's so many things. I have a laundry list a mile long of all the pops that I would love to do and love to see, and it's completely selfish because it's all my favorite movies and characters and stuff. But they can only make so much, and they can only get the licenses for so long. I don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
how
yeah.
the
And
business.
also like I think Clerks 3's with Lionsgate.
Mhm.
Clerks and like Chasing Amy and all that was Miramax, so now it's under Paramount. Universal owns Mallrats. So like,
Dogma is like completely off the table because I'm not sure who owns the rights to that. It's not even on Blu-ray. Like they can't even release it on video.
yeah, it's this is gonna sound gross to say his name, but Harvey Weinstein owns like the home video streaming, like all access to that. So and he's not letting it go. They've tried.
Which is so frustrating because I mean, can you imagine Dogma pops like a Loki pop and the Poop Monster pop? I mean, oh my God, I would kill to design that.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. A little Alanis Morissette like holding a book.
Sure.
And I'm not even. See, you're saying Dogma pops, which sounds awesome. I even scale my wishes back. Like I don't even want Mallrats pops. I do. I just want a Brody pop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holding either a Dixie cup or a chocolate covered pretzel. And then if we got more, great. But like you could just be like, here's Brody. And I go, okay.
That would be so good. And the back could be like a one of those like seeing eye puzzles where you have to cross
Yes.
like do the whole back like that.
And if you cross your eyes, it spells Funko or something
Yeah,
else.
or something. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of what I consider pie in the sky stuff. All of this, pretty much all these same characters, but from Clerks 2.
Dude,
You
you're
know,
telling uh
Elias holding a little onion ring. You know,
yep.
that's my dream.
You could do
But
a whole like movies play set. I mean,
oh
that would be
yeah,
amazing.
well there is already a Movies Pop which I own,
There is, yes, but
which
I'm
is
talking like the whole thing. Like do a multi-pack of, all the characters like with a cardboard serving counter holding fast food and stuff. Oh my God.
I mean they did all those like Avengers reassembled the shawarma table and
I mean, I don't think Clerks 2 has the kind of fan base that Avengers has, but you never know. Who knows?
that's the problem with all my wishing is that
Right,
if
right.
I was Mr. Funko, I'd be like, yeah, no
Yeah.
one's gonna buy that the way they're gonna buy the Avengers thing. And I
I
go,
mean, all my favorite movies that haven't yet been made into Funko Pops are obscure 80s things that, I don't even think they have the rights to any of that stuff, but a boy can dream. So,
honestly, I'm surprised we even got Clerks 3 pops. So, I'll take what I can get.
yeah, of
But I gotta thank you for coming on here and
course,
talking.
always happy to talk about Pops and toys and Kevin Smith and everything. So,
Yeah. And in fact, I'm because I reviewed the Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back pops. It's too many S's and then not S's. Years and years and years ago, and I can't remember if it was on like Twitter or somewhere, but Reese O'Brien had designed them and reached out to me, and he's like, "Hey, so now
oh
this
no,
is
Reese is a good dude.
two I met him once at a con. He was a good dude.
Yeah.
But now I've talked to two different people about Kevin Smith pops. So I just think, yay.
Well, someday if I get to meet Kevin again, I would love to get a pop signed by him or just at least tell him that I did it. And, even if I can't get anything signed, that would be really cool. It would
Oh,
mean
that'd be
a lot to me that he knew that the person that was responsible for creating the designs is a huge fan. That would be really awesome. So,
I'm sure it would be awesome for him, but it also means a lot to me, and I think other fans out there too who are into this.
mhm.
Before I let you go, I gotta plug your book. I didn't tell you I was gonna plug it, but I have
Oh,
read You Wish, which
oh
is
yeah.
out, now. I thought it
Yes.
was a blast. If
Oh,
any of you out there curious, it is sweet, it is fun, it is littered with wit. Uh, I'm really, really dig some of the random. I chuckled a lot throughout this book, but in the end, um, I was left with a lot of big warm fuzzies at the end. So
oh,
if you have kids out there, or if you're a grown ass adult who enjoys, youthfully spirited adventures, uh, you wrote and drew the whole thing, right?
yeah, yeah.
I have a link for this in the Amazon link in the description of this video. But I really, really like this a lot, and I can't recommend it to the viewers enough.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was a real labor of love. I worked for a couple years doing this, and I couldn't be more proud of how it came out.
Yeah, you should be really proud. It is excellent. So, everyone, go check that out. And thank you again for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
All right, take care.